And we are live. Gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. The podcast where a couple of us get on here every week. We talk shit on this game that we love so much. Some weeks are better than other weeks, depending on our teams. This is yet again another week where our team isn't great. So if you're tuning in this week for a really positive spin and feel good listens, may not be your pod this week. But I promise you, if you stick in and you listen all the way through, you'll get some good laughs, you'll get some good banter, and you'll hear some good perspective from the fellas. So let's check in with those fellas. Connor Sindobri, we'll start with you just because I don't know if you're going to be able to pay attention through the rest of this podcast. So fill the listeners in. How are you feeling today? What's going on
I'm
up
good,
there?
fellas. I'm good. I'm sad I missed last week, but unfortunately, it's probably gonna be the same exact type of St. Louis City episode. And I'm gonna say this now just because I can. Like, I'm buzzing for United to be back, and I say that knowing we have Forest, then Man City, then Lyon back to back. So my tune could be very different 7 days from now. But I'm buzzing for the Prem to be back. It's good to see you, boys.
Happy to have you, bro. Happy to have you as always. Andy Hoover, back from Kansas City, ready to talk on this podcast. How are you feeling?
Good, man. Another solid week of life. Another terrible week of the sports teams I support. It's outside of the Blues.
I was gonna say,
right.
my friend.
All right.
How about it?
Go Birds.
And shockingly, both of them are crushing it thus far. So let's hold that thought while we're there. But I've not once supported a winning football team. I'm not sure if I ever will support a winning football team. But that's why we're here, because I like to give that perspective. You need those types of guys too. So happy to be here. Yeah, glad Dubs' head is recovered ish from putting his body on the line last night in the men's league.
What a waste for a draw.
Just an
what a
absolute
waste for a draw.
waste. Terrible result at the end of it. But happy to be here.
Hoover shouts out his burner account quite frequently, but he had a great tweet this weekend of, the sun is shining. He's about to go grab a burger with the girl he loves. Life is good. Life is good. You take all the sports stuff out of it. Life is sick. Life is so good. So good. Stinkleman, what's up, baby?
What's up, bud? Good, yeah. I'm gonna echo what Dobe said. Very excited for the Prem to return and for the prodigal, holy cow, son Bukayo Saka to be back.
Yeah,
prodigal.
Had a stroke for half that.
Even like your
I think I'm still
Head injury.
I actually had this conversation with my girlfriend the other day about like words that you just can't say, and I could not think of one that I had trouble saying. But now,
speaking of can't saying words, Nick Haflinger, how you doing today, buddy?
All right.
I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah, it's I think that those two covered all of it though. But on the Arsenal front, good news that Bukayo Saka is returning this week. Very excited about that. We need him desperately ahead of our Champions League fixture. So good to see you guys though.
I know that you're never gonna wish you were in a different life circumstance, but are you kind of bummed that you found Casey before Arsenal released their dating show? Because I feel like that would have been a great way to figure things out,
No, I like American women and American woman specifically.
That's a thing?
Oh yeah. They announced it. I think today.
Is Arteta the host?
And you know what? For all intents and purposes, it might be an April Fool's joke. And tomorrow they come out and be like, "Oh, April Fools, we were just kidding."
You might be right on that.
But that is something that they would
do.
Good
bit, nonetheless. Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, my center back, Nick Haflinger. What's up, baby?
Happy to be back, boys. Unfortunately, I can't really echo what Winks and Doze were saying. I said it last week on my birthday. That's why I missed last week. But Chelsea couldn't ruin it for me. So I was kind of pumped to get a little break from Chelsea football. But nah, all jokes aside, I'm pumped for the Premier League to be back. Obviously, St. Louis City had a game this weekend. I did not get to go to it, but my brother did. He said the atmosphere was still lively. Obviously, the result wasn't there. But still good to know that St. Louis still shows out, even though when our performance is always that great. Happy to talk to you boys. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Hafy4. Let's dive into it.
Kevin, speaking of that atmosphere at St. Louis City, we had a Sunday kickoff, which is not normal for us, but a 1:15 Central Time kickoff here in St. Louis against Austin FC resulted in a 1-0 loss. Not good, fellas. The fans are in kind of an odd space at the moment where you're seeing a lot of things flying on Twitter. I want to remind you that we're only a couple of games into the season, a couple games into this new head coach's tenure, Olaf Melberg, but people are getting a little restless on Twitter.
People don't know ball.
Say more. Why don't people know ball, Nikki?
I think St. Louis is doing something that we've done for so many different players and coaches in the past already. Like Tim Parker's a great example. Coach Carnell is a great example. We jump on any story and any sort of slight towards a coach immediately, or we get high on their horse immediately if they start performing well. So I think this is another great example of St. Louis Twitter and us just jumping on something that we don't clearly know.
Just being too reactionary.
Yes.
Yeah. We'll circle around to that, but let's dive into the. Yeah, go ahead, Hoover.
We are extremely reactionary. I agree, and I think that's been evident in the last 2 years we've had this club. What I felt deserved the reaction was the absolute terrorism football that we lined up with an hour before the game. That
Tell us about that terrorism football.
I saw that tweet. Yeah.
Mikel Arteta has made his way to St. Louis, bro.
This is Mikel and Jose and Nuno Espirito Sanchez, whatever, all combined in one.
It's Mikel at the Etihad.
Oh my god, dude!
Literally still losing 1-0. Yeah,
6 defenders, 2 defensive midfielders, and then we threw in another center back at the end of the game as a striker. Oh, dude, I think everyone had every right to be pissed about the lineup itself. Henry posted at the game, "Beautiful day for the under." It was the under 10 times out of 10, no question. You lined up with 6 defenders, bro.
I mean,
dude.
What I don't understand too is, so we're obviously dog shit in the first half. We're not doing anything going forward. We're fine. We're fine defensively, as you can imagine, with 8 defenders on the field. But going forward, we have nothing. We make no subs at the halfway window. But then as soon as we bring subs on, there's at least some sort of an identity going forward. Now, I'm not going to say that everything was perfect when we brought on Klaus or when we brought on Celia or anyone like that, but better. Ostrak came in and was so much more progressive with the ball than Durkin and Morales were. So I don't understand, and even in the post-game reaction, Milberg did say that perhaps he got the starting lineup wrong, which was kind of refreshing to hear. But gentlemen, we've talked about it for a while now. We have nothing going forward. There is no strategy. There's no there's just no game plan. And also Edward Leuven out on a red card suspension. I don't think Leuven changes that. I don't think you bring him in and you plug him in the middle of the park. I don't think that he's also massively changing the side going forward. Very soft. Bad red to take.
Bad red to take. It was it's still indefensible. I'm blaming him. Should he have gotten it? Yes, in my opinion, but stupid. So dumb.
So, now we're seeing Twitter. We're seeing Twitter going off about there's a couple of people that are on the Melberg out train, which, way too early. Way too early.
That's what I'm saying.
So St. Louis, chill, relax.
No, I'm the opposite on this one. I think we're fucking jumping.
Yeah, we're jumping way
so fucking early.
But
my brother said the same thing. He's like, "So when we getting this coach out?" I'm like, "What are we? You guys were on Carnell's nuts last year, and now this guy has one." And he admits it, and I agree. I'm happy you brought up the presser. He goes, "I might have not got the starting lineup right."
Yeah,
correct. You did.
We've conceded 2 goals all season. 2 goals is all we've conceded.
That though is when have we said he's gotten the starting lineup right once?
We're tiptoeing into territory where we're going to be pretty accurate.
And I think that's fair, because when I look at the last 2 games, yes, we didn't look bad or we didn't look great, but not only that, it was a very average Philly side with 6 or 7 injuries, And
That's
then
the
this
problem.
Austin team
Yeah.
was not impressive, even remotely. And we concede 2 stupid goals and just have absolutely nothing going forward. And we wait until what was it, like the 80th? Yeah, like 68th minute. But then like the last 10 minutes of the game, it's like we're all over him. I think the 11 was weird for this one. If you look at the 3 players in the middle, zero balance in terms of like at all. Not a single progressive player in the like of the 3. So you were literally relying on Betcher, who's more of a like dump and chase kind of in behind guy versus a hold up player, and Hartle to produce. And then you add 2 wingbacks that don't like going forward at all, and Kyle Hebert. It's just I don't know, man. I'm to the point where I was a defender. I love shutouts, but like at this point, I'd almost rather like lose 4-3 and score goals rather than lose 1-0 every week.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we are getting into that territory, who, like you mentioned, where we're going to start getting critical. And the issue is he obviously loves Kyle Hebert. That's great.
Too much. Way too much.
Too much.
Dude.
Get Missouri State out of here, bro.
No,
Get him out.
It can't be the answer, dude. We
No.
said this in preseason. We were like, man, Kyle's getting a lot of right wing back play. I don't know how I feel about that. And he
A
had
lot of reps.
Oh, dude, he had 10 probably really good opportunities where he found himself in a position to float across.
Yep.
Tell me how many of those
I
crosses
think-
landed at the
I
foot
think
or
somebody
head
tweeted
of a
during the
St. Louis
game was
player.
like Kyle Hebert complete a cross, mission impossible.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Berkey's turkey always has the takes. That
Dude,
was, and it kept going that side, and we were doing really good work at getting that ball in that pocket where you could throw a cross or a cutback. Nothing landed even remotely close to an attacking player.
yeah. And, you know, I think Hebert's a big issue there. I also think that fundamentally, I think the game plan of how we want to break out, how we want to start our progressions, it's super flawed. We like bringing the ball all the way back to Kessler, which I'm cool with. We like recycling it back. I'm cool with that. But there was no movement in the center of the park. I mean, I couldn't even tell you how many times Austin dropped off 2 strikers that blocked off the passing lane into Morales, but Durkin was way up the field. There's no one else in that balance in the center. And so our only options were to pass along the back 3 or try to hit a long ball. And when that long ball came, Nilsson didn't connect any long balls. I mean, his distribution was terrible. And then he got walked 2 or 3 times defensively on a 1-on-1. So I think there's some pretty big issues there. And unfortunately, there was a couple of times, especially later on in the game, where we were crying out for a 2-on-1. We were crying out for an overloading the wing. But yeah, that center back that was there was like Josh and Kyle, not the 2 that you want to have a 2-on-1. And unfortunately, we're getting also to territory where like Kessler's been such a rock at that center back position. But would you rather see him in a left center back or a right center back, because he's better with the ball and he can progress forward a little bit, especially if Nilsson's going to get cooked on those 1v1s. I don't know. I think that it's just it's not good.
I'm gonna keep saying it, man. He is the one positive that I've been able to take away from every single game. Like Hen and who have I texted you guys? Like, we fleeced the fuck out of New England. I think somebody said it last week.
Oh yeah.
Kessler is a dog, man. He's the one consistent positive that I think week in and week out, every game this season, he's just put in a consistent performance.
We
I think
needed him badly.
Oh, so bad. And I think, truthfully, if we had Greg Berhalter as the U.S. Head coach still, where the MLS guys get a little bit more of a shout, he's had a stretch of games, even extending from the end of last season, to maybe get a shout again. Like, I don't think he's over Tim Ream, maybe. Yeah, dude. I don't know. I thought you were saying Tim Parker. I was like, brother, what you hate that guy? What are you talking about? No, I think Kessler's literally the only bright spot we've got. I will say, Wallum played admirable for what he was set up with. Like,
He played 7 positions in the game.
He
played every
everywhere.
position.
He and Hartle were the only 2 guys that were actually able to do anything. Hartle had a great shot off the corner. That was a beautiful little 1-2 with Wallum. Like, that was all we had going forward in the first half. So I'm excited for him. And then when Salio comes on, guess which side's clearly the most dangerous? Like, the left side, they were balling together. Watching them 2 combine was like, what have we been doing? We're not. We're seeing the solution happen in real time. Why are we waiting to even do this? Like, boys, we're back to let him dance.
Yeah,
Let him dance.
I would put a lot of money on him starting the next game.
Has
And
to.
him and
But
Wallum
I
kind
couldn't
of
even
like.
begin to guess the next starting 11. Like there's no shot that anybody gets it right.
when you were talking about he hasn't gotten a starting lineup right, like what would you like? I couldn't even think of a starting
build
lineup
like a
that
starting
I would-
11.
Yeah.
Like with available and healthy guys, what would my
Yes.
starting 11 be?
Yeah, let's do this.
Okay. Lund in goal because Berkey's injured at the moment.
Yeah.
Left center back, I'm going
So you play
Horn.
5 in the back.
That's what he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going Horn, Kessler, and then I would like to see what this Baumgartel guy does. I think
More XG than
I'm
Simon
fine
Becher in the
with
last
seeing-
3 games. I don't know if you guys saw that tweet.
I did see that tweet, and I was like, Michael, careful of the narrative, brother. Careful of the narrative. Right side,
Healthy
Totland.
Totland.
correct, but not healthy.
Ebert.
No, I think I would do Akil Watts on the right wing back, and I would do Wallum on the left wing back. I would do for Kansas City, I would do Leuven and Ostrak, and then I would do Hartle as the 10, and then Klaus and Celio.
Yeah,
Sure.
but like,
That's what I'm saying. It's not
Yeah.
that easy to do.
it's not easy. No, because the whole question we had originally was where does Celio fit into this? I don't give a shit where he fits into it. He's got to be on the pitch. Like,
I think it'll be a 3-4-3 is what.
I'm looking at the Seattle game. We played what was effectively a 5-4-1. So back five's kind of locked. Hartle was off left. Watts was off right. Why couldn't we shift Hartle in with Lowen more, let him free roam, Lowen and Durkin underneath, Celio out left, Klaus up top, and no, let's ditch Watts completely. Let's run 3 through the middle and do a Klaus Celio top 2.
5-3-2.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
let
dips
him-
into a 5-4-1 in defense.
And let Celio drift wide, let Hartle come in underneath him, and then Klaus is dude. Another thing that drove me nuts about this game, if the objective is to cross the ball in the box, if we're down 20 minutes, if we're gonna be just whipping balls in the box, like you should probably have your 6'1" Brazilian balding striker in the box. Like I don't like we were trying to hoof the ball to Simon Becher, and like Dobe said, he's not that type of guy. He's not a target man. That's Klaus's role all day. Or to Teucher. Like I'm okay with that. He was hurt, obviously. I think that hindered us too, but like we've not seen Teucher go more than 60 minutes once. This guy's got really no legs at the end of the day. So like we've seen Simon be so effective off the bench. You let him run against the tired legs, let Klaus do the dirty work and try and actually combine with the creative midfield players that we do have and put some sort of competent attacking plan together. It's just
I think the
unbelievably
most
aggravating,
concerning thing about the team, what are we doing? 8 points, like middle of the Western Conference, like not horrible, but I think the biggest concerning thing for me is the fact that I think there's only like when I look at week in and week out, there's besides Berkey and Lund now that he has to be, Kessler's the only one that's like in the team sheet for me. Like that's it. And I think that's a huge concerning point is there's not a person that you can necessarily, and I'm talking even Lewin, maybe Hartle's probably the other one that's going to be in the lineup every week. But of the forwards, of the wingbacks, there's nobody for me that's really been like, I deserve to play week in and week out. Everybody's had a game they're playing well, a game they're not. And as a collective, it hasn't clicked all in one moment yet.
Yeah, it's very true.
I agree.
So now what,
I also
fellas?
think that's why his lineup choices have been
Sure,
harsh.
Yeah.
Right.
But also like he's making choices
That's your
consistently with
job,
Hebert,
dude.
Yarrow. Like I know that,
No,
that's the
100%.
thing. Like,
And we've mentioned this on the podcast, and then Olaf doubled down on it at one point in media leading up to this game. He's like, you have a plan that you want to implement with your team, yes. But to get to that point, you have to cater to the players that you have available and get creative in going from point A to point B, which is this is the style that we have to play right now because this is who we have. And point B being this is the style that I want to play because the guys understand and can make it happen. We've not gotten past point B. We've not figured out how we can use what we have to get results while also working on becoming a better attacking team, because we have attacking talent. It's just not coming together at all. He said he was an offensive minded coach. That's bullshit. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie about that. But you can have better ideas. There can be more of a plan. There's not a plan.
Offensively, defensive.
Yeah.
You know what they say about the best offense is a really good defense, you know? So we got to see better. We have to see better, of course, as we head into rivalry weekend with Sporting Kansas City. They go and fire their manager after 20 years. So we on this podcast always want to acknowledge that
would take him. Would take him.
Bounce, precisely. You would take Peter Vermees? Would you?
Why is that?
Take? Why?
Has anything been proven by anybody that's managed St. Louis City before that they are better than him?
Yes.
There's multiple MLS Cups. We're not trying to win the Premier League here. We're just trying to win some games.
See, the thing is I think
something that Kansas City hasn't done in like a good 12 months. So
you should have gone to KC this weekend, Matt.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Well, botched that. Yeah.
Good timing.
Dang it. Matson getting engaged into.
Selfish. It's just a selfish play. But we'll see how we do against Kansas City. It's in Kansas City, right? Like, it's there. Yeah. So
and they've got nobody going to their games right now because they're miserable. There's going to be a lot of red. There's going to be a lot of red.
But they did put out a supporters letter to the ownership and to Peter Vermees about wanting him out. So who knows? Maybe people will buy some tickets now that he's gone. I think that he'll take the rest of the year off. He will find his way coaching again. But he's also like their director of football, isn't he? I don't know if it was like parting ways with both.
I saw that. Someone asked a question to whoever the guy with the mustache, the MLS guy is.
Tom Bogart.
And that I didn't see him respond, but I was like, that's a good point.
Yeah, I think he's the head coach and director of football. Or head of football operations or something. But we have a couple days until that game, and until then, we will join in on the commiserations. I recommend listeners, if you can, go on Chat City Tactics and look out for his recap of the game. Hasn't posted it yet, so I didn't know how we were going to formulate any opinions for this podcast, but shout out Michael one time. We love you. Looking forward to reading your analysis. Also, the last thing that we didn't even talk about. The fuck were we doing defending that goal? Literally, it was a cutback to like the top of the box, and like two center backs literally just like watched the ball go by him without even moving. Horrible defending.
They could have had 3 in the first.
They could have. They could have. But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to transition into, oddly enough, our closing segment of today's podcast. It's just a short one. As we mentioned, our club teams return this week. So we're going to run together. We were chatting in the group text about what would be a fun little segment to do. And we decided on, coming after this international break, an all-time U.S. men's national team starting 11. All-time. Now, if you throw someone on there from the 1907 U.S. team, I'm going to call bullshit. You don't actually know that. But we're going to go through together. We're going to debate these positions. And at the end of it, we will decide a starting 11. Shall we?
Yeah, before we even get into our starting 11, I do want to note that we also talked in our group chat that no matter what the starting 11 is, we don't think they would win anything still, which is like depressing as fuck.
Super depressing.
Okay, anything, win the World Cup, no. But we could win.
Yeah, maybe a Gold Cup, like a
Gold Cup, Nations League. Like we've already seen that, bro. Yeah.
Sick,
all right. At the end of, once we decide our starting 11, let's all debate on how far they go in a World Cup.
Perfect. 2026 World Cup.
Yeah.
2026.
Okay. Love it.
Okay, and these are all their guys in their prime. This is not just whatever. So prime.
Agreed.
Okay, so we're starting out with the goalkeeper. I think that this is going to be the most unanimous across the board. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Casey
Brad
Keller.
Timmy.
Just kidding. No, Tim Howard, bro. Tim Howard.
Turner.
Yeah, Matt Turner.
I will say, dude,
Zach
Brad Friedel's a legend.
I know.
Like
He
Tim
was-
Howard, no question, and his
Brad
second-
Guzan?
Yeah, Brad Guzan, but I
That's
mean,
another one. Friedel,
he had a
but
better
sorry.
club career
Dude.
than he did international career.
This
Friedel
is tough.
Friedel had 288 appearances for Blackburn, 114 for Villa, and 50 for Tottenham. Like
Yeah.
that's a ridiculous career.
That's lengthy.
Tim Howard.
We have
Howard.
Tim. Yeah, Tim.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's got to be Tim.
Tim has to be the guy. Because I feel like Tim could be the guy solely for his 2014 World Cup performance. All of those saves against Belgium, which I do believe is still a World Cup record for most saves in one game. But I mean, the length and dominance that he had at the top of the U.S. men's national team, he was always a lock. And he had an incredible career in the Prem as well. So Tim Howard is a lock for sure. Gentlemen, are we all playing 4 in the back?
Yeah.
Okay. Then let's start off with the right back. Who do you all have as the right back for the
this is
USA
tough.
all time?
Yeah, this one was real tough for me, and I don't think you guys are going to like my answer, but we're definitely going with prime, right? Like,
Okay.
their prime ability. I was a Yedlin fan. Like,
Oh, the speed?
I like that.
Yedlin with his speed. I know, and I knew Domes wouldn't like it, but like,
Seattle
because he
Sounder
had no
legend.
touch or technical.
Yeah.
But
Dude, I
mean,
remember when he
he was
burst onto the
electric
scene,
sometimes with that speed.
Yeah, there was just that one Twitter clip of him like getting back into position where he like ran twice as fast as literally everyone on the field. I was like, holy. I have Steve Cherundolo.
Yeah.
U.S. men's national team legend and just a super, super consistent career, both national team and
Captain for a long
over in
time
Germany.
too.
Yeah, long time.
Captain Hanover 96 for like 5 years.
My pick.
I don't hate that at all.
I don't
I
hate
also
it.
don't. I also
I also
think
can't
that.
say I watched
I
much
also
of
think
him.
if you give it, and we'll see, it's like hasn't happened yet. But I think Dest doesn't have to do a ton to be there. So
So I had
Already
Dest.
who he's
I
played
think
for.
if he comes back fully healthy, I think he's the best all-around footballing right back. Yeah,
Talent
Yeah.
for sure.
Oh, talent-wise, for sure.
Yeah. I had Dest on mine, and when I was doing research to try and make sure that there wasn't anybody that I was clearly forgetting, like his name was coming up a lot, and I was like, man, I don't know. That must have been right before I really started watching the men's national team. I
Steve
feel
Cherundolo?
like growing up, my family didn't really watch soccer. We just played it growing up until my brothers and I got old enough to start, playing FIFA and really paying attention and picking teams and whatever.
Mm.
And I think that was like just past it. I definitely recognize him and would probably recognize him if I saw him playing, but because I don't have a lot of experience watching him, I went with Serginho as well.
Yeah, Dest will be an interesting one because just like you said, Dobes, there's no question on the ability. But I think what kind of spurred this 11 was also just like the mentality side of it. There are going to be guys in different positions that are talented. The current U.S. men's national team, the 11 that's in this current men's national team, are a super talented bunch. But who are the dogs to throw out there in a one game?
Looking at some of these guys has made me go back and just look at pictures of them. The Waldo kits were so good.
So
The
good.
Waldo kits are awesome.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
I also have a interesting shout here, and I'm hoping you guys will allow it. I'm gonna recommend.
I mean, you
a
can
left
say
back.
whatever you want.
I'm gonna recommend a left back for our right back position,
Okay.
because I think we all might agree on the left back.
We'll get there. Just give your shout.
We will.
I'll wait for the left back then. I'll wait for the left back to bring that up. Okay.
Okay. I might be picking up what you're putting down, but
I think so too. But let's pencil Steve.
Okay. The two center backs.
Can I
Lot
say
of
mine
people.
first?
Yeah,
'Cause,
absolutely. Lots to choose from here.
we're not going to choose him, but honorary mention, former U.S. men's national team center back turned announcer, Alexi Lalas. Baller.
I knew it was gonna come up.
Yeah.
I knew it was
No.
gonna come up.
No, but just kidding. Do you guys think Timmy Ream gets a spot here? Just longevity, it's. I feel like this. I don't want to make this starting 11 harder than it has to be because we haven't won anything worth noting.
So true.
So when I was
You could
making
throw
my
out
list,
anyone.
that's what I'm saying. So when I was making my list, it was like name, image, likeness, longevity, and honestly where they played outside of the national team, and just kind of like their talent. And I feel like as far as longevity goes, being a captain, I feel like Tim Ream has to be a strong candidate.
Strong consideration.
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't disagree. He was definitely on my list.
Yeah, he's my
Give me
guy
Gooch.
too. I was gonna say,
so
yeah.
Gucci on he's on my bench.
Gooch.
He's on my bench.
Who else?
I
is
think
supposed
you
to
have-
be there?
Bocanegra.
I have
Eddie
Har-
Pope is up there.
I have
for me.
Carlos Bocanegra and Tim Ream are my two.
Me too.
Eddie Pope was up there for me. He was.
The
when
thing is, I don't
World Cup
remember him at all.
I don't remember Eddie Pope.
I don't remember him at all.
I also am
remember
not.
him.
I'm not strong enough to even throw
Early.
out Jeff Cameron. So
if Scott
I did
Persha was
like
on this
Jeff Cameron,
podcast,
man.
Jeff Cameron would be in.
I did
all-
too when he was in
Yeah.
his prime.
He was just injured always.
I was almost gonna say Jermaine Jones at a center back. I loved when Jermaine would sit back there and play.
You keep that name. You keep that name on the table here because he's coming
Yeah.
in hot.
He
on
is
mine.
coming.
I'll keep that
He
in the
is coming.
pocket. I'll keep it in the
Yeah,
pocket.
yeah. There's a specific number that I see him sitting at.
It's probably the only other number you could play. So
yeah. Tim Ream, Carlos Bocanegra.
yeah,
we,
I'm
Yeah.
actually really okay
Yeah.
with that.
Okay.
Jedi.
Left back.
Jedi.
Um,
Jedi.
Really?
Yeah.
That's who I think the for
Jedi.
sure answer is. I
This
agree.
sucks.
over
Jedi.
DeMarcus Beasley.
So DeMarcus
Jedi.
Beasley should be playing
Jedi.
right back. You guys agree?
Dude, DeMarcus
I
Beasley
have
played in
DeMarcus
I don't care how
four
many
World
World Cups he
Cups.
played for.
DeMarcus
And-
Beasley is one of the main reasons I
And
play
none
defense.
of those World Cups has he come close to the level that Jedi is at right now.
He's
Correct.
not wrong. He's
Correct.
not wrong.
We're talking was
DeMarcus
getting
was
best
my-
left
was
back
my
in the
sixth or
Prem
seventh
shots,
man.
not best left back playing for DC United or some shit, dude.
Yeah. He
But-
played for PSV, and you know.
Hey, and Chicago Fire, calm down.
But the thing is that like I agree with you.
I'm
with
Jedi. You're
Like,
not gonna be able to say a thing that's gonna give you.
I agree
It's not
I
that's
agree
gonna
with
give
him
you
too.
DeMarcus Beasley, man. And I love DeMarcus
DeMarcus Beasley goes to
Yeah.
right back.
Again,
DeMarcus Beasley goes to right back.
This is why I don't want us to make this more complicated than it is. I feel like Jedi is just levels above.
These levels, but dude, DeMarcus
you're
was
right.
like that guy, and this is like the deepest.
That guy who
position
also didn't win
historically.
anything with the
Right,
national team.
Right.
But Jedi hasn't won anything with the national
hasn't
team
won
either.
shit.
Did you? I just said who
Oh, he's
also
got a
hasn't won
Nations
anything
League.
with the
Okay.
national team.
So, hey.
I'm pretty sure
relax.
DeMarcus probably has a gold cup.
Yeah, DeMarcus
Dude,
probably has
the
something there.
126 caps, 17 goals from the back. That's
I
it's not better than Jedi.
Right back.
I get it.
Anyone
But
against that shout?
he never played wide left. Like if it was like a situation to where
Fuck.
maybe
I was trying because
Yeah.
he was one of those guys for me early.
I'm hip.
But Jones is 100% right.
I'm staying
Yeah,
quiet. My
It's
opinion.
levels, and Robbo is
It's
definitely
Jedi.
has to be left back.
But leaving him off, he's
I
not
feel
the first
crazy
name off the
about that.
bench. Like then
Yeah.
man,
True.
Okay.
it's got to be.
Damn.
Damn it!
3 center midfielders. This is gonna be so funny.
All right, so
No one say the name, and I'm
Come on.
not kidding.
Dude,
Jermaine Jones is my lock.
Jermaine Jones. is
really?
a lock.
that's a
It's
crazy lock.
It's Jermaine or it's Tyler as a six.
Jermaine isn't even in my squad,
Dude,
and he's
His
your lock.
how he played in that 2014
Yeah.
World Cup was insane.
I love
Insane.
Jermaine Jones. I personally think it's another one of those where Tyler Adams is
Tyler's
just like
Tyler's a better player. But like, this is right. So the conversation that we have.
This is the conversation.
This is the conversation. Which of these guys is going to absolutely run over another team for you in the squad? And it's
Tyler
not
Adams.
Well, Tyler Adams has had these opportunities and he's not been able to step up and do it. Like, I still think he's that guy. I still think he's the captain. I still think he's one of the first names on the team sheet currently. But it was the Jermaine Jones era that those
I think
guys
he's on the
were just
bench.
built
I think Tyler's on the
different.
bench. Yeah, I think Tyler's on the bench.
I think Tyler's on the bench too, and I love Tyler. I love
agree.
Tyler, but
Talent-wise,
So then,
I don't think
do you
there's a
have
question.
Jermaine there, Joe?
It's like it's for the because when you put US.
I don't have
when
a
you,
six.
When you
I
put the
have,
U.S.
like-
men's national team just as U.S. men's national team and nothing else, it's very not hard to not say the name
Come on.
the name who shall
Come
not
on.
be named.
Don't
But
you
say it.
it's
dare.
But when we're speaking of strictly in U.S. men's national team, like, and I hated him, but just strictly as like captain, leader, like
We said best 11.
Michael Bradley, baby, come on,
Michael
come
Bradley,
on.
dude.
He's in, bro.
Like,
He's in.
I prefer Jermaine Jones, but it's very hard to not make an argument for him.
Dude, Michael Bradley was in there for me in the 11
Shut up.
early. Swear.
Bro, and
You're saying like his dad.
Swear.
but like, let's look
Oh,
at the
What are
history
you
of
What are you
it,
going to
though.
argue with?
Yeah,
He's not good.
Dude,
Okay. He was good enough to play for Gladbach for 76 appearances, and then moved to Villa for a couple. Then Xavier, I don't know who that is, and then 41 appearances at Roma.
Yeah, did you watch his performances? They were not great.
But the thing is, it's like, I mean, the longevity that he was in the team, the leadership that he displayed, like, he was also one of those guys that would run through a brick wall. Now, when you just talked about Tyler, I
was
think
gonna say-
Tyler would have been able to do it in the 2014 side. I think if Tyler was one of those guys, but Michael Bradley was the staple of like leader. Michael Bradley was the Jordan Henderson of
When
U.S.
we
men's
were-
national team.
So when we were
Bro,
dog
that's
shit,
we
like,
got out of the
when
group.
we were-
Like we should have
Because of Michael
advanced. Like,
Bradley.
Jermaine
brother,
Jones.
we
We got out of the
we
group
should
because of
have beat
Jermaine
Belgium.
Jones.
Fucking Wando.
I think it's a conversation with Jermaine and Tyler Adams. But if you bring Michael Bradley in here, it's not even close. Tyler Adams wipes the floor talent-wise of Michael Bradley.
So
and
did
it's
Freddie
not even-
Adu, if you're talking talent. Freddie Adu is the next
Dude,
coming
that-
of Christ, dude.
No. I think
I
you guys
feel
are
like
way
Michael
off if you
Bradley's
think
in
Michael
there.
Bradley's in this.
I think
11.
he's gotta
I
be
think
in
you
there,
are
dude.
I think he has to
way
be.
off.
Yeah,
Here's the deal.
Oh
Here's
my
Nick,
word.
Nick.
Did you
151
guys
appearances.
watch him play?
But
17
think about
goals.
it. From the time you were like 8 years old to the time you were like 20, 21, there was no more consistent staple of the U.S. men's national
Consistently
team.
bad player in our team. You are correct. You are 100% right.
Looking at the rest of that
Michael
team,
Bradley.
we had no right to be decent at all. He was
I think
actually
our
the only
three
mainstay.
midfielders now are all levels above of Michael Bradley.
They're all better technically, but they haven't
Yes.
done anything
That's the
for the
conversation.
U.S.
We're
men's
making our best 11.
So you're telling me that you would put like Wes, you would put Tyler,
West is levels above
you
of
would
Michael
Eunice
Bradley.
Musa over the U.S. men's national team all-time 11. This is not the 11 most talented players that's ever graced the United
No.
States. This is the best U.S. men's national team 11.
Wes shows up to every U.S. men's national team camp hungover with a joint in his mouth, brother. Like, Michael
And would-
Bradley
and could
put
be
it on
tied
the line.
and could have a rope on his back, and he would still ball on Michael Bradley.
2015 U.S. men's national team footballer of the year. 2-time Gold Cup winner, 1-time MLS Cup winner. Like, I know that we're not listing like big accomplishments, but that's bigger than anything on the U.S. men's national team right now is one besides Pulisic.
I think you're losing this one, Nikki.
I
can't believe it.
Nick said originally. He texted in the group. He said, I
But
swear,
you
if anyone
guys all
brings up
agree.
Michael
That's why
Bradley,
I'm mind blown that he's even anywhere near. He wasn't even on my
I
bench.
laughed at the
so
comment.
bad.
I did not agree.
There's no
with
way
it.
he's in our three.
Oh, it's all-time U.S. men's
Sounds
national
like
team.
he's pretty in the three. I'm not gonna lie. It's what it is. Can I throw out a name that we haven't said yet on
Yeah.
my other?
Oh, then
Claudio Reyna.
He's in there.
That's who I have in mind
Yeah.
as well.
He's in there.
I think
Yeah.
he's from an earlier generation, but he was
Yeah,
the
and he's
guy.
better than Michael Bradley.
Yeah,
Yes.
they're gonna play right next to each other. Those two.
No, they should
Yes.
never.
Because who do we have at the cam? Landon Donovan. Landon Donovan at the cam. That's who we're doing.
At the cam.
Yeah, bro.
Where
Cam.
are we? Wait a second. We're getting ahead
Landon
of ourselves.
Donovan.
Hold on. Let's
I would
really.
take.
I
I
must
would
have-
take
I must
CP
have
at the
missed
cam.
something.
Okay. Well, you want to go CP at the cam? Landon Donovan
Hold
on
on.
the right?
We have a great front three that I don't think we need to touch.
I'm
Okay.
back on. I know I'm skipping ahead here, but I'm back on the Brian McBride's my 9 train, fellas. So we can get there. We got to get. Yeah, we get there.
Oh, get out of
Who?
here!
Who?
Get out of here!
It's on.
Get out of here!
It's on.
See?
Clint
Clint-
Dempsey.
What are we on?
Clint
Yeah,
went
bro.
right.
Relax.
Pulisic out left. Donovan at the 10.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
No, I say switch Pulisic and
Well,
Donovan.
either way, sure.
Pulisic can play the 10. Donovan's
And
on the
Michael
right.
Bradley is not in the midfield.
I was about to say Nick is arguing about 2 players that we're
I'm
all agreeing
confused
to
as
have
to
in the
who
team.
we've got on the field right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have our back four.
Yes.
We have Michael Bradley.
No.
Yes.
You're
Bradley's
you're
in.
outvoted on that.
If it's a
You're
4v1,
outvoted.
Michael
You guys
Bradley's
are
in.
crazy. So you think like Weston McKennie is not like
I think Wes needs to do more
think
for it.
I didn't even
West
Bro,
can't
we're
get
talking
bounced out of numerous.
151 appearances. Mainstay. Like first name on the team sheet.
the man's captaining Juve.
And Juve's in like
What?
8th. It's like
What
the
are they
worst
doing?
Juve team they've had in the last 2 decades. And I love Wes.
Agreed.
It's not. I think it's literally comparing DeMarcus Beasley and Robbo.
It's not.
Oh, I'm just being disrespectful.
No,
Wow.
it is. It's the exact same. He was only in the lineup because his dad was the fucking coach.
That's just wrong. That's
I'm
just
No.
not true. That's just
Dude, who
not
else would
true.
you want to play there? Kyle Beckerman? Like, who else the fuck is going to play the 6? Kyle Beckerman? Graham Zusi?
Jones,
Yeah.
Kyle Beckerman. I would take
Oh,
Zusi over Michael Bradley.
No.
You guys are
Give me
wild.
Benny Feilhaber and I'll call it a day.
I never saw that man play good for a U.S. men's national team.
You don't remember his goal against Mexico?
I'm asking our.
Dude, the 40-yard
The
chip.
20-yard chip, the fucking touching
Fire.
the badge.
His one goal.
Nick.
You cute.
You're not
I didn't even think I
Yeah,
needed
well-
to come up with that long of a list because I didn't think
All right,
Michael
so who's
Bradley
our
was going to be anywhere
who's our
close.
midfield right now? That's
Michael
all we
Bradley.
have.
All you need. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you and Hen mentioned
That's
Claudio
what.
Reyna.
That's he's in
Audio.
mine. Yes.
Sorry,
That's what I
yes.
have.
I
That's
have
what I have.
Claudio in mind, so we have Michael Bradley and Claudio.
So, over
We're
Tyler
missing-
and Weston.
Yes.
Nick,
Okay.
can you
That
mute him?
leaves. That
Can-
leaves. All right.
I'm just kidding. That leaves one midfielder, but pending what Dobes and Hen
What you wanna do with
suggested,
your-
we may need to
We're
skip
looking
and
more
talk
like a
about
4-2-1.
yeah, because I think we have the same ideas for wingers potentially, unless one of them is moving to our cam.
That's
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So the final 4 players I have: Donovan, Pulisic, Dempsey, and Brian McBride. Those are the 4 that I have. I have Brian McBride as striker. I have Dempsey out on the right, Pulisic on the left, and Donovan as a cam. But if you don't like that and you want to move those guys around, I'm cool with that.
I like that.
I'm just saying what I have.
I like
Just saying what
Pulisic
I
as a
have.
cam.
I think if you look at the way that those 4 would play together, it'd be a
Brother,
whole bunch
I
of
would love.
rotation.
I would love
you're right with
Dempsey
that.
as a cam.
Yeah.
True.
Dempsey would be sick.
He did that thing where the guys get old and they drop a little deeper, and he did it really well.
Bro, Brian McBride slew, like what, 3-time All-American. Dude, he was.
I
I
know,
wore
bro.
number 20 my whole life.
Dude, he would have been so proud of you yesterday at the men's
Oh,
league, taking 2
brother,
balls
brother.
to the zone.
When I
He
was
would have
young,
been
my
like,
favorite picture ever from footy was the picture where he got the bloody face and kept playing. Oh,
what was
Turn
it,
me
2004? Just, come on. So what do we have, fellas? Do we have Donovan, Pulisic, Dempsey, and McBride, or do you want to defend
Josie Altidore.
Yeah, who? You want to make a
no.
case? What do you want to do? You make that case if you want to. What about Jazzy Jardes? Do we want to do that? Do we want to throw him in there?
Naming players similar to Michael Bradley.
The only reason I would vote Jose is because I watched more of him and very little of Brian McBride. Like,
I get that. I also
2006 World Cup guy. Like, I wouldn't know much about him unless I was watching highlight reels and looking up stats on Google.
Damn, bro. Brian McBride scored 30 goals in 96 games, and compared to the rest of his career...
Come on. Fucking
That's the
big dog.
Dude, he's great. He's great. Go back and watch those highlights, Wings. Brian McBride is a dog.
I will. I feel like
dog.
we have watched him before, but
Oh yeah. So the 11 fellas. We have Tim Howard, Steve Cherundolo, Carlos Bocanegra, Tim Ream, Jedi Robinson, Claudio Reyna, Michael Bradley, count it, Landon Donovan, Christian Pulisic, Clint Dempsey, and Brian McBride.
I think that's a phenomenal list. Do we want to do like a sixth man?
Couple on the
Yeah,
bench.
I mean,
Couple on the bench.
Like-
I mean, DeMarcus Beasley.
For sure.
Do we want to do like one player for the defense, one for midfield, one for
yeah,
forwards?
Okay.
Okay.
sure.
All right. So we have DeMarcus Beasley
Who's
in the back.
our backup
Yep.
goalie when Tim Howard gets hurt?
Oh,
Brad.
Brad.
Guzan.
Yeah,
Friedel.
for sure.
I know. I was
Friedel. I think you don't even do it to me. Friedel for sure. And I think easily first guy off the bench is Tyler Adams. Like the fact that he's not in this list is tough.
Yeah, he's flirting with that list.
It is
For sure.
tough.
I think it should be Jermaine Jones.
I agree.
I
take both of them.
I love Jermaine.
And then up top, do we put Jose as our, or do we pick someone
Sargent
more?
over Jose.
Josh hasn't done anything at the
I
national
know.
team, bro. No problem.
It's got to be Jose.
Jose didn't do shit either.
For our
I don't
generation,
know,
for what
man.
we grew up watching, Altidore
He scored like 30 goals in one season at PSV, so
Mm.
count that for
Daryl
something.
DK, could throw him in there.
Damn.
FIFA legend.
Look at
Guy's
Eddie
a
Johnson.
dog.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
God,
That's
yeah.
tough. Eric Winalda.
Ugh.
Never watched him play.
Not once. Yeah, couldn't tell you anything
Wow,
about
that's
him.
so fucked. If it has to be Josie.
We didn't have a ton
you
of
guys
other
wouldn't take
strikers.
Morris over him?
Jordan
Thankfully,
Morris.
No.
Jordan
Thankfully.
Morris?
Jordan Morris's best contribution to the U.S. men's national team was when he was at Stanford. Like he never.
Yeah, we
produced...
got some shit.
like-
You guys remember Aaron Johannesson?
Yeah, dude.
Dude. Fabian Johnson. That guy was kind
I
of.
think it has. I mean, does it
Fabian
have to
Johnson
be
was kind of
Josie?
good.
Didn't Fabian Johnson
Wild.
wear like
think it
23
does.
or something?
I don't know. We're also kind of forgetting about CONCACAF legend and noted nightmare, Chris Wondolowski.
Just can't.
Yeah, I
just
mean,
can't.
Yeah, Belgium.
Bag,
No,
bags,
yeah,
but
nowhere
you
near.
can't. Out of principle.
No. Out of principle.
Okay, so we have Josie, Tyler, DeMarcus Beasley, and Brad Friedel as our
Man.
manager. Right? Oh, manager. Who do we want as our manager for this?
Yeah.
Bruce Arena was my choice too.
Bruce Arena.
Should have never fired him. Should
I
have
went
never
Klinsmann
fired
as
him.
well.
Never fired.
And Klinsmann with, this side, I don't know.
Dude, some of these names are awesome. You remember Mixed
Oh yeah,
Discaroo?
dude.
Yes.
Dude,
What a
Breck
name.
Shea. You want to talk about a
Breck
player
Shea.
we'll never forget? The United States streets will never forget Breck Shea, bro.
Ever.
That guy was a
Ever.
psychopath. The blood and energy we need in the team
Mhm.
now, Breck Shea brought that shit, dude. Guy was
God.
a savage.
Before he broke everything in his knee, Stu Holden was lit. He was playing over in the
Yeah.
Prem. He was so good, and then just died. His knee.
Looking at these names. Remember Julian Green?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I thought he was going to
Sasha
be something.
Kleshin. Man, we had some names.
Who does Julian Green play for now? He still has to be playing,
He's-
right?
Yeah, he's
If he
playing
does,
for
he'll
like
be in Germany.
it's a second division. He was playing for like Groningen, a second division German team.
This thread is awesome. It's on Reddit. It's called Mega Thread of, in quotes, lost U.S. men's national team players.
I remember when Breck Shea went to Stoke. It was like another one of those like, oh my god, he's taking the Clint path. I was so excited. 3 appearances.
Juan Agudelo. Wow.
Mm.
All right, I think we got a good list. Do we think they'd win anything?
Yeah.
I was just about to say, with the midfield three of Reyna, Michael Bradley, and Landon Donovan, I don't think we get out of the group stages,
You
boys.
don't
So
even know what you're talking about when you're talking about Claudio Reyna.
He was doing great.
He's the best of the three. He's the best. I agree with you. But that midfield three's getting bossed.
Wait,
will
we put
say-
Donovan in the midfield?
Well, I
Or are we
mean,
putting...
I thought we put CP.
yeah, or we could put
I
CP.
suggest
I
that.
also
I don't know
thought
if you guys
somebody said...
agree.
I also thought somebody said Clint, and I feel like this is going to be an important piece on whether or not this team can win anything.
I like
having the right guy in
CP
that spot.
in the 10 because CP does track back. I don't remember Landon Donovan being that guy that gets up and down the field.
Selfish prick.
Okay, so we got Landon on the left. I do think that this team gets through the group stage. I do think so.
Same.
If
all
it's
of
not the
these
group
guys-
of death, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys at their heights, at their, the best that they've been, I think that they advance. Because also, yeah, they have some dogs in that group, which is when you look around the current group of 11, there's a lot of guys
We're
that
a
don't
broke
have
football
that. So I
nation,
think they
man.
make it-
We are.
Yeah.
You really think about it. You're really
How
just
many
like
of these-
going back. It's just like pulling up bad memory after bad memory.
We'll
Luckily-
come back. We'll come back and do this again in 10 years, and this list will hopefully be drastically different.
Not too much different. How many of these guys are American born? I'm just like thinking about it off the top of my head. Like,
I think
don't
that's
know.
a good question. I guess look at 5 years.
CP
Is
is-
there anybody now that you
Simmons.
think will be in this list?
Dest.
I think Dash. I
Dash
hope
is-
That's
Dash.
Tyler's one that could.
Tyler moving
Tyler
to a
could.
starting
Tyler
spot.
should be.
Yeah.
If Tyler can stay healthy, man, that's the thing.
The striker, dude. I mean, we've got so many years of Ricardo Pepi that I
Yeah.
would love to see him overtake Clint Dempsey. But genuinely, brother, I don't see anyone touching that guy's record for a long time.
Could Timmy Weah
Maybe.
make his way in there?
Depends on where you play
Maybe.
him.
Yeah.
Where you play him and how often he actually gets to play at wherever club he's at.
Very true.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, I think that wraps it for this week's episode of the Mecca of Banter podcast. What, Nick? You got something to say?
No, I was just saying, do we think we only get out of the group stage and that's it?
In 2026, yeah.
I don't know.
Like,
I
I've
don't
said
think we
like-
answered if we kept
I
going.
said
We all were
about
just
our
like, yeah,
current
group stage,
team.
that was it.
I said our current team's gonna get to the quarterfinal on the Soccer Dad podcast, and I wholeheartedly don't believe that anymore.
Yeah,
So
no,
I think our team now versus this best 11 would be a good game.
I don't think so.
do you think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so either. I think that
I don't
think
think
Klein-
they would smoke them. I do not think
they
it
would,
would
bro.
be.
That front three is disgusting.
I don't think
who-
so.
Who's scoring
Of
goals
course.
for the current team besides Pulisic? They don't have a
Yeah,
9.
very
They don't
true.
have a 9.
I'm not saying they're winning. I'm just saying it'd be a good game.
the top 4 players on this all
You gotta
time.
think it's Pulisic,
Bags.
Dempsey, the 3 most goal scoring players in U.S. history.
they would run circles around CCV. They would run circles around CCV.
If that CCV's our option, we're
Yeah,
hosed,
we got a
brother.
center back
Hosed.
crisis. I feel like, fellas, because Timmy Ream is.
Absolutely.
We've never had this. Is
I was gonna say,
if you
we've
look
always
up
had
and
a
down that
crisis.
field, dude.
John
our-
Brooks almost made my bench.
John Brooks was solid, dude.
John Brooks was solid, but you can't put him in the U.S. men's national team.
No.
At 11. He got exiled from the U.S. men's national team.
That's a good point.
All
But I
of
mean,
the
if we're
prime
going
of
off
his
of
career.
things they did for clubs, his header.
He did score that goal.
He did score
One
that
of the
one
coolest,
goal.
most raw
All right,
reactions
gentlemen.
of all time. Just hands on head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They put it in FIFA. You can do that exact celebration in FIFA where you just get on the ground, hair on your head. Awesome.
that wraps it for us tonight. Hit us on the social media. I also just threw a poll on our Twitter about, does Michael Bradley make the U.S. men's national team all-time 11? It's split 50-50 right now. One of the guys, Danny D on Twitter, yes, he does on the bench, maybe as a starter because all the guys ahead of him would continuously get hurt. LOL. Shout out our midfield, Tyler Adams.
That's a decent point, frankly.
Love you all. Keep interacting on the social media, and we'll catch you next week after the Kansas City game.
Cheers, lads.
Cheers, fellas.
Yeah, boys.
Cheers, boys.